This is Hannibal and Piper here from the HannibalTV.com, and she did watch this movie with me last night, Let the Right One In, which she wants me to move over so she can fit beside me. Sorry. Um, this was a great movie. One of the fans that was watching my daily news update yesterday told me to watch this movie because I've been watching vampire movies to prepare for my Blood Hunter Thirst and Gore movie that we're returning or that we are recording this summer. So far, my two favorites have been the 1970s Daughters of Darkness film, which was a great film. I reviewed that, and I really liked um, Fright Night, the 1980s original Fright Night movie. But this one I did not really expect to like, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's a Swedish movie with subtitles, and I can tell you guys I've never even watched a movie with subtitles before. But this it's not going to be for everybody, but if you're a vampire movie fan, you're going to love this movie because I loved it. And I loved it so much I forgot that there was subtitles after a little bit because I was so into the movie. The one thing that I really like about it is it is pretty realistic overall. It's very violent. I'll just go over briefly what the story's about. It's set in the 80s before there were cell phones, even though it came out in 2008. And they're in this town, which I believe is probably supposed to be in Sweden. There's snow everywhere, and there's a 12-year-old boy who's getting bullied, and he meets this girl in like the little playground area of his apartment. There's a bunch of apartment buildings, and then there's a playground area, and this girl lives beside him with her father, and he doesn't know it at first, but she's actually a vampire, and she lives by feeding on other people's blood. And the father was actually helping her at first kill people and collect their blood to feed her, and she becomes friends with this boy, and he's getting bullied really bad at school. For instance, he's in gym class one day, and while he's out doing his gym stuff, they put his pants in the urinal, so he has to walk home in shorts in the cold. They whipped him with sticks, cut his face open with sticks, and so forth. And as he gets to know this vampire girl better and better, he eventually stands up to the bullies and hits one of the bullies in the ear with a stick, and the kid has to go to the hospital. Eventually, he does find out that this girl is a vampire. They become good enough friends, and she explains to him that, for instance, he wants to kill the bullies out of hate, but she's not actually killing out of hate. She's killing people to just survive. So meanwhile, her and her father are killing people from the town. Eventually, her father tries to kill someone. He gets caught, and because he doesn't want to have it traced back to the daughter, the father pours acid on his face so the police can't recognize who he is. So then the father is arrested, and he's taken to the hospital, Then she goes to see the father at the hospital, and the father basically lets her take his blood, lets her feed on him. And after a while, enough people have died in the town that it's getting too suspicious. So despite her and this boy, they don't have sex or anything, but they they sleep together, like, and they become very close friends. They understand each other. There are times, for instance, the boy wants to do a blood oath. This is actually where he finds out she's a vampire. He wants to do like a blood friendship oath with her, but she ends up getting like too aroused by the blood and like goes on the floor and like licks up all the blood that this kid is has spilt from his hand on the floor, and basically tells him he's got to go because without saying it, she's going to kill him because she needs the blood. So yeah, they part ways. It makes it seem like she's leaving town, and then the bullies return while he's in the pool one day, and the bullies have like, I forget if it's the older brother, the father, or what, but they come into the pool, they tell the few other kids in there to leave, and the guy calls the kid that's being bullied over and says, you took my brother's ear out. I'm either going to stab you in the eye, or if I can hold you underwater for 3 minutes and you survive, I'll just nick you and I won't hurt you. So he agrees to be held underwater for 3 minutes, but he starts suffocating. And as he's suffocating, the vampire friend comes back and kills everybody other than the kid, and it ends up with basically the vampire and the kid. So like the vampire is the baby face in this movie. Even though she's killing people, they explain that it is for a reason to survive, and there is like a love story to it. And I'm not necessarily a fan of love story movies, but like there was something about this movie I really enjoyed. So again, it's not going to be for everyone. I loved it. I absolutely loved this movie. I'm undoubtedly going to watch it again, but it's definitely not for everyone. But if you are kind of a fan of violence, and if you really love vampire stuff like I do, you can get into this. Where the vampire stuff that they talk about in this, as in like the name of the movie's Let the Right One In. Vampires have to be invited to come into a house, for instance. So they do use that. At one point, she tries to get into the boy's house, and he's like, "Well, what are you going to do if I don't invite you?" And she goes in and she starts to like self destruct. Blood starts pouring out of her. And then he said, "Okay, okay, you're invited." So they keep like the vampire folklore. At one point, she does bite a woman who survives. So she technically becomes a vampire. And while she's in the hospital, they open the curtains and the sun kills her. So, and of course, she has the ability to climb up walls and has some supernatural powers, but it wasn't so unbelievable powers that it took you out of the movie. So yeah, overall, very good. Hello, Dennis, Jason. Yeah, I had a good Easter. Ray, okay, he says there's an English dub over. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was happy with the subtitles, to be honest. As I said, I don't know if the movie I would have liked it as much with the English dub over. I liked I liked it the way it was. Somebody says I should see Stranger Thing and The Turning. Maybe I will. I'm not really a fan of modern movies. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But okay, it's called The Turning with the Stranger's Kid Things Kid. Okay, maybe I will. Josh, that all depends what the border situation is by then. I have talked to Amber about that. I'm not going to get into wrestling talk here, but it's not impossible that she'll wrestle for us September 3rd. It depends on some stuff with the border by then, what the rules are. Hello to all of you. The North American one is better, so I guess there might be a North America remake of it. As I said, this was the best. This was, yeah, I think my two favorite movies that I've seen this year are the Daughters of Darkness one and this one. And this one would be my favorite because it was very, very violent and I actually got really into the story. My second one would be the Daughters of Darkness, 1970s vampire movie. And my third would be the Fright Night 1980s vampire movie, which isn't as chilling, but it's a good movie. Mike, yeah, Piper's sleeping beside me. Shane checking in from North Carolina, Horseman Country, where one of my favorite wrestlers, Ric Flair. I don't know if he lives in Charlotte anymore, actually, because you see him in Orlando all the time now. Still in his 70s, strutting around in the bars, naching it up, doing his little nature boy, Ric Flair dance as only he can do. So salute to Ric Flair to end this vampire movie review.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at